Hey guys, sorry, I have had something come up this side. I've got to take my car in, so I'm going to be late. So Cole, Graham, hopefully you guys are all set up there. I will join when I can. Happy Star Wars Day! I know that that's like a big deal for you guys, so happy Star Wars Day. But yeah, I'll join when I can. There is so much work to do there. There's a whole bunch of stock that has arrived that you guys need to unpack. So please don't spend all your time just talking about Star Wars. See you soon.
Or that's exactly what we do.
Did you see that thing yesterday on the TV?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the video store.
Hi there.
Today we're doing something a wee bit different.
Yeah, finally.
We're doing I don't know what we're going to call this, May the 4th special, but May has two meanings. There you go.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what we're going to call it. So we're going to spend 3 days, 3 episodes, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You'll be hearing this on a Monday. The next one will be out on Wednesday. The next one after that will be out on Friday, where we're talking about the 3 Star Wars trilogies.
Yeah, this is our trilogy.
Exactly.
It's a certain type of chat,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
If you're a Star Wars fan and you're here because you're curious, you can go online and find out everything you need to know about the making of Star Wars.
There is so much out there, dude.
There is so much out there. Like, any good recommendations?
The ILM series, Light and Magic,
Yeah.
over on Disney Plus.
What Went Wrong podcast did some Star Wars episodes.
Yes, they did. The documentary that they released with episode 1 called The Beginning, which is all about the making of episode 1. It's better than the movie. It's a great documentary.
Also, Empire of Dreams.
Yep. That's
That was a great
really good one. Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, so all of it's there.
Yeah.
So we kind of felt that that discussion has already happened quite a few times.
Yes.
And the vibe of the Video Store podcast is just that we're a bunch of clerks at the video store talking about the movies that are on our shelves.
Exactly.
And we've been staring at the Star Wars DVDs or VHSs, depending on which ones you're talking about, for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we've had many a night
Yes.
over a beer and a Prager roll at Bolzoo Lake.
R.I.P.
Yeah, shame. Getting tipsy and bitching about Star Wars.
Yes.
Also swinging about Star Wars.
100%.
Because do not mistake us, we're super nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Graeme has this amazing artifacts. What is the series called?
Oh,
Coda Bakir.
Yes, Coda Bakir.
Coda Bakir artifacts figurine collection that looks
Yeah.
so good. I'm so jealous of it. I have 18 Star Wars posters that all used to be on my walls at one point.
Good Lord.
But I'm trying to find frames because they're getting old.
Yes.
And I need to take care of them. But 2 impassioned Star Wars fans
Yeah.
that are just here to have a chat about their opinions.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a discussion you've probably had yourself, right? So we're just going to have some fun with it.
Exactly.
We're going to relax into it and we're going to see where the conversation goes.
Exactly.
And I think the most exciting potential about it is that Star Wars fans are pretty impassioned and have like strong stances on this.
Oh, yeah.
So the potential for you guys to get involved in this discussion is exciting for us.
Yes.
And we'd love to get all the various perspectives because an opinion's an opinion. And this is the problem with people always bringing up The Last Jedi on the internet is that it starts this whole damn war again.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so frustrating. So we're just going to have a chat about it,
Yeah.
and see where things go. So let us know what your opinions are. And
Exactly.
don't crucify us because it's just an opinion.
It's just an opinion.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into the prequel trilogy.
Okay, before we do that, I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, fuck.
Where does it all start? Where does Star Wars begin for Cole J. Matthews?
Oh, hectic. I think that it began with the 97 re-releases.
Okay.
And I remember watching Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if I
Right.
watched the other 2.
Okay.
I just remember seeing the AT-ATs
Oh,
walking
right.
on Hoth.
Yes.
But Star Wars as an obsession, as like my place of worship, began at 9 when episode 1 came out.
Okay.
And it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen.
Yes.
I think it was the first time I was truly excited about movies. I had like my little obsessions before.
Yes.
You know, when I was like 4, it was Warriors of Virtue.
Right.
Or when I was 6, it was Dragonheart. But then it was The Phantom Menace.
Cool.
And it was unlike anything that had happened to me before.
Yes.
When it came out on DVD, I think I would come home and watch it every single day.
Wow.
I don't exaggerate when I say I've probably watched this film over 100 times.
Jeez, like.
Probably. It's insane. Like, you saw when we were watching it together, I can
Yeah.
quote that Hudsonese, like, left,
Yep.
right, and center, dude. Mikasa, chukasa. I don't know. So, yeah, it was a beautiful, innocent phase to just be obsessed with a thing because it was cool.
Yes,
That was it for me.
exactly.
And you?
Cool. For me, I think maybe the first thing I actually remember is probably like 4 years old,
Sure.
going to my mom's sister's house. They had like their TV room was like it was like the rest of the house was on one level, and for some reason the TV room was like 2 steps down. And I walked in there and my cousin was watching something on TV and I didn't know what it is, but I heard it before I saw it.
Okay.
And it went
No way. Cantina Man?
Yes. And then I looked at it and was like, what the hell is this? Because it's just followed by a shot of like weird things. It's just followed by a shot of things. And I was like, what is this? I don't understand what I'm looking at.
What are those?
Yeah. So I think Star Wars might actually be my first actual memory.
No way. Seriously? That is insane. That is a good first memory to have.
Yeah, that would have been like probably 4 years old.
Mine was The Lion King.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, that gives away my age. I was like 4. Oh, that's a good first Star Wars scene to be introduced to because it's all about the galaxy and all the different aliens. And,
Yeah.
you know,
It means nothing when you're 4, but
absolutely.
it makes an impression, I guess.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like seeing the weird centipede guy. Oh, no, wait, he was cut out.
Oh,
The centipede monster was cut out.
Yes.
Not centipede. What's it called?
Praying
mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
let's talk about some movies we don't particularly like.
Sorry to like kick it off that way to anyone who does like them.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
Um,
there's been a lot of revisionism with the prequels. I've definitely gone back and forth in them.
Same.
Like, I loved them when I was young, when they came out. I was
Same.
like, wow, spectacular. Look at all this with the swing and the
Mm.
lightsabers and the boob, 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 boob. And, it was all very, very cool.
I knew exactly that you were talking about Sepulva's. Yeah, exact same thing with me. I think Graeme and I, for context, have also spent, like when we were studying together, we'd go to Bowls Zoo Lake, which is now burnt down. Hopefully they rebuild it.
Oh.
Yeah, it burned down. I'm
Jeez,
convinced it's us, and that's my conspiracy theory.
Oh, right.
Because the Guptas or something wanted to build a helicopter pad there.
Jeez.
So it burnt down in inverted commas. And we spent many nights drinking Black Labels, with Prego rolls and chips, and discussing the prequel trilogy.
Yes.
And like rewriting it basically. Like
Yeah.
talking about all the things that confused us or frustrated us.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest problem with it for me
Yes.
is narrative and script.
Mm.
Like, we know that it looks spectacular. We know that
Exactly.
they have the best lightsaber fights in the entire series.
Exactly.
We know that it's some of John Williams' best work.
Yeah.
Like, top to bottom, episodes 1 to 3, incredible stuff happening
Exactly.
there. You know, like, decent casting, like,
Mm.
through and through. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much potential.
Exactly.
But it all comes down to story.
Exactly.
And George just cannot write a script.
Yeah, it is a problem. Like
Yeah.
the technical achievement is very impressive, and the artistry, even if it's kind of outmoded, the technology is kind of outmoded, especially in episode 1. But the artistry isn't. Like the artistry is still very good.
It's
You
Doug
know.
Chan's art direction, which
dude.
felt like a complete new brush of paint over this universe that had such an established aesthetic. We call it dirty
Exactly.
sci-fi in the original
Yes.
trilogy.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see that.
Exactly.
It was this like polished, clean, like Republic style of Star Wars,
Mm.
which was brilliant. Like, so he knows how to reinvent the story
Yes.
because it was something completely new.
Exactly.
But onto scripts, the first thing that I'd like to mention
Yeah.
is that 2 weeks before production,
Mm.
he approached Lawrence Kasdan
Oh,
to have a look at the script.
right.
And it was 2 weeks before shooting. Kasdan was like, what are you talking about?
What am I supposed to do about
You've
this?
built sets and
Jeez, like.
I can't like look at your scripts and make any adjustments. So
Yes.
we know that George either was just like looking for validation,
Mm.
like about the scripts, or was looking for help with the scripts.
Yes.
Don't know what the intention was behind that.
Exactly.
But if you approach the guy that wrote the best Star Wars movie,
Yes.
episode 5, let's just get that out of the
Yeah.
way. You definitely want, I think, some kind of,
Mhm.
you want a crutch. You like want some kind of assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it all happened a little too late.
Yeah. Tragedy. Can you imagine?
Right?
Yeah.
Because he approached a lot of other people before even making this to direct it.
Okay.
He wasn't going to direct in the first place. He approached, obviously, Steven Spielberg.
Mm.
He went to Ron Howard. He went to, I think he went to Robert Zemeckis, maybe.
Ooh.
And they were all like, no, this is like your thing. This is clearly yours, that you need to do this.
It's interesting
You
for
know.
contemporaries to say that. Because if he'd gone to younger directors, I think they would have jumped at the opportunity because I get to direct Star Wars.
Exactly.
But the guys who grew up with Lucas, who came up with Lucas, are the guys who are going to be like, no, I do my thing. You did your thing and made a name for yourself.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if, like, Spielberg wouldn't suit Star Wars at all for me.
Yeah, not like episode Star Wars. I think he could play in that
spin-off
space.
movie.
Exactly.
Oh, where's our Scorsese Star Wars, bro?
Oh, could you imagine?
A Hudsonese crime movie?
Right?
Like, directed by Martin Scorsese? Come on.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Like, he should have done Book of Boba Fett and made it not shit.
Yeah, but there is something interesting about George directing us, because he's someone who's clearly has no interest in whatever's happening in like the cultural zeitgeist.
Right.
He's like completely disconnected from the now, and his sensibilities are completely his own in a way. There's almost like a naivety, or calling it like purity feels like too complimentary.
Okay.
Right, but the way his directing style is just, it's George's directing style.
Right.
You know?
I think he's like a cultural innovator, and he's done that. He did that with the original trilogy, and he did it with the prequel trilogy as well. Like, the prequel trilogy did incredible things to movies.
Yeah.
Not just the tech, but to like the style of movies and the storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, so it is just when you get down to like working with actors.
Yeah.
His spectacle's amazing. You look at the pod race, you look at Duel of the Fates, you know, you look at the Geonosis arena sequence, whatever. The smaller moments are just where you go, oh, that's a line delivery. That is a choice.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't feel like there's a real interrogation of intention and motivation with actors, because those are things you get into on set.
Yeah.
And I think it has to be within the text. If it's not in the text, if there's no subtext to work with, right, and it doesn't really have any depth to it. So I think like he betrays himself a little bit,
right,
from his writing to his directing. Like,
yes. I think you hear that a lot from, even going back to the original trilogy, the other actors, Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, will say basically the only direction he ever gives is faster, more intense.
So wild.
I remember Harrison Ford saying something along the lines of he has no patience for the acting process.
Wild.
This whole thing is like, it's on the page. Just do what's on the page.
Right.
You know, like it's there. Just do that.
You know, people would
That's all
think
there is
that
to it.
actors are professionals and they can do what they do very well.
Yeah.
And they can just go and work with the text and do it.
Yeah.
But they're not seeing what the lens sees.
Exactly.
Right? They're not seeing the depth. They're not seeing the focus. They're not seeing the mise en scene. All these things that formulate an impression of an emotion to an audience member that go, oh, this is what you're meant to be feeling. And the director's the person that holds the audience's hand through that process. That's what Chris Nolan said.
Yeah.
And that's the voice, which I don't think, because like you say, he's not interested in the acting process, it kind of feels like it's something that's just missing from these movies.
Yeah. Which is why you can't really, I think the treatment of actors, especially like the young actors like Jake Lloyd, is very unfair. Like especially as a young actor, he's someone who would be entirely dependent on the director to kind of like ease a performance out of him.
Right.
Which George Lucas either can't or isn't interested in doing.
Yeah.
So all the treatment that he got because of that, it isn't really George Lucas's fault either, the fact that he was bullied relentlessly.
Like, his mom had to just keep him off the internet because she didn't want him to see what
Exactly.
was going on there, and he was 9 years old.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's fucked.
Yeah. But okay, let's move on to what this thing is actually about.
So the Trade Federation has started a blockade of Naboo. What a way to start the fucking...
Taxes.
The taxation of... What is the first line?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's literally just like the taxation of trade routes or something.
Yes.
This is a choice.
Exactly.
Which I get. I get that a lot of these filmmakers, like Coppola with Megalopolis, they are like obsessed with the Roman Empire, and they're obsessed with the idea of the fall of civilization as it's reflected in modern culture.
Yeah.
George was often holding a mirror to the American people.
Yes.
Right? When he made these movies.
Yeah.
It's just, does this suit Star Wars?
Yeah.
It must have been jarring at the beginning because it doesn't feel like Star Wars, but that's how George reinvents the story. So for me, it is something that can work.
Yes.
I think it's just in the execution.
Completely agree. Completely agree. It's especially perplexing because George, of all people, will insist that these are children's movies.
Yeah. He will say, I made a movie for 14-year-old boys.
Yes, exactly. But to like introduce that whole story with, taxation and like
I didn't know what taxation was when I was 9.
Yeah, exactly. Like senatorial blockades. It's like that's so far. Like I understand where it's coming from. Again, we'll get into like his politics and everything, but it's just such an odd way to introduce us back to Star Wars.
I think he maybe wanted to make a statement there. He wanted to say, like, this is Star Wars like you've never seen it before. We're dealing with politics. We're not dealing with rebel alliances and empires.
Yes.
This is about the nuance of the system.
Which I have zero problem with. The problem is there isn't really any nuance. Right? It's so, like, we're talking about the same, it has the political kind of display here kind of has all the same problems that the storytelling has.
Right.
It's just, it's good ideas that are poorly executed.
Yeah. It has the nuance of a Wampa in a in a Mos Eisley spare part shop.
Exactly. But then also there's like aspects of that story that I really like and I wish it focused on more.
Okay.
But it gets like distracted. Like I really like the idea of the trilogy. What happens in the trilogy is it's about Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader.
Right.
That's what happens. What it's about is how the Jedi are this like corrupt, decaying institution.
Right.
And I don't think that's focused on enough.
It's not focused on enough at all.
I think all of those problems need to be highlighted more, to the point where people still like argue about it these days. I still see posts of people online saying, "Oh no, the Jedi weren't like bad. They didn't actually do anything wrong." All that sort of thing. But it's like, no, that's like what the movie's about.
Absolutely.
What these movies are supposed to be about, I think.
But it's set in the context of this decay of democracy. It's like those things work in parallel with each other, right?
Exactly.
Like old institutions that become weak or become complacent.
Yeah.
And then that complacency and that arrogance, which is very much what the Jedi Council is about, breeds the rise of totalitarianism, of evil forces like the Sith.
Exactly. This peacekeeping force have allowed themselves to become the private police of a corrupt Senate.
Yes.
That's what it's like. Like more of that.
Yes.
Like I want more of that. I want to know more about that.
Exactly.
You get it in, we're still talking about episode 1, but you get it a bit more in episode 2. We'll get to that when they introduce Dooku, but let's get to that in time.
But then you think about this context that you're establishing about this area between like private police for a corrupt Senate.
Yes.
And then you have Qui-Gon Jinn. And you have all this stuff in Star Wars that works around the films, where it's either fan theories or it's comic books or it's novelizations that build to support the substance that the film doesn't have.
Yes.
People layer that meaning onto the film, but it's still absent from the movie.
Yes.
And you think about the role Qui-Gon Jinn could have played in this entire thing, because he's famously a grey Jedi.
Yeah.
Where's more of that? Where's that like... And then it's a show don't tell problem with George's writing, because then he has to rely on Obi-Wan to be like, you defy the council every single time. And you're just like, well, show us that in drama, please.
Exactly.
Like, how does he do it?
Yes.
It's not him just saying, I'm going to train the chosen one.
Yes.
The plotline of Anakin becoming Darth Vader isn't coherently matched to the context of the rise of totalitarianism and the fading of democracy, right?
Yes. Especially since if you think about how important Qui-Gon's kind of defiance actually is, because it's probably the reason if the council liked Qui-Gon, they probably would have just let him train Anakin.
Yeah.
But they don't like him because apparently he's a bit of a, he's disobedient and he's, all these things. But we don't really get a sense of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than a character telling us that. We never really get to see him do that. And that, like the knock-on effect of that is what propels this entire trilogy.
Yes.
Qui-Gon wanting to train him, Qui-Gon dying, Obi-Wan then having to take on that responsibility.
Yes.
Now, Obi-Wan is stuck with someone he doesn't want to train and who doesn't want to be trained by him. Everything would have played out differently if Qui-Gon had lived.
Absolutely.
Or if they had both died, or if Obi-Wan had died instead.
Yes.
Like that would have changed absolutely everything, and Darth Vader probably would have happened.
Right.
And it's just like that is so poorly communicated. Even though it's like the central thing that happens in this trilogy.
Right. It kind of just feels like an accidental chain of events, but you're dealing with destiny and the Force.
Exactly.
Because like tied to the Chosen One mythology is the idea of destiny.
Yeah. Because Qui-Gon is, I said this while we were watching it, Qui-Gon's a bit of a goose. He's a bit of a silly goose.
Like Top Gun goose?
No, he's a silly goose.
He's a silly goose?
Yeah, like for instance, basically the first thing that happens with him is Obi-Wan's like, I have a bad feeling about this. And Qui-Gon says, I don't feel anything, or I don't sense anything. It's like, come on, dude. You're literally directly walking into a trap and you have no idea that it's happening.
So is he a good Jedi?
I don't know. Everyone says he's like the best Jedi ever. Like if you go online, people are like, Qui-Gon's the best. But he also does things like he'll go to Watto, right? But because again, this is why he's also like part of the systematic problem with the Jedi.
Nice.
Right? He goes to Watto and he's like, we need to fix our ship. And he's like, cool, I've got the thing you need. And then he's like, I can pay with this. And Watto's like, that currency won't do. So he tries to like mind trick him into taking it, right?
Yes.
So he's willing to trick him into taking a currency that to him is worthless.
Right. So he wants to deceive him.
He's willing to do that.
Yes.
So at that point, just steal it. Or kill him and take it. Because he's a fucking slave trader.
He's a slave
We've discussed
owner.
that. He owns slaves and he sells slaves. We learned that in the second movie. He is, for all intents and purposes, a slave trader. So kill him and take it.
For some reason, because of being peacekeepers and being a neutral party,
Yes.
the Jedi don't get involved in the moral problem of slave trading.
Yes.
And don't see it as a bad thing.
Exactly. They're willing to like, they'll go to like lengths to get Anakin to like make a plan to save Anakin, quote unquote.
Yes.
Because he's useful. His mother's not useful to the Jedi, so they'll leave her behind.
She can be a slave.
Exactly. They don't care about that. And they know that this problem is happening. Even if they didn't prior to this, by the time they get back to Coruscant, now the Jedi know. But what do they do about it? Absolutely bloody nothing. So we know that they don't care because they are the tools of the Senate and nothing else. Like, communicate these things.
Exactly. So
Like, that's a
it's
story.
like the seed of it is there,
Yes,
right? But it's not dealt with thematically at all.
exactly.
And then when it's not dealt with, then you sit there going, oh, there's a flaw in the like world logic of the story.
Mm,
Where it's kind of just like, okay, cool. Who are the Jedi actually then?
yes,
Who is Qui-Gon? Where does his moral compass lie?
exactly.
So you start like very fairly being like, oh, this guy's not that great actually.
Yeah.
He's a little bit shit.
Yes,
Okay, cool. Fuck you, Shmi. Like go rot in Tatooine.
exactly.
So going from the Jedi being this very morally ambiguous entity, partly because it's intentional, but it's never communicated and then it feels like a mistake. My biggest problem with this movie
Mhm.
is like a very simple thing where in the title crawl, it says that the Chancellor has sent Jedi to Naboo to negotiate with the Trade Federation.
Yes.
But then when they come back to Coruscant
Mhm.
and they talk to Zod,
Oh, yes.
shame, rest in peace, Terrence Stamp,
Right.
they don't report back to him.
Yeah.
They go straight to the Jedi
Yes.
and they don't even talk about their mission.
Mm.
They talk about Anakin. Fair. There's like a little bit of a miraculous discovery that happened on Tatooine and finding the chosen one.
Yeah.
But then we go to the Senate, we go to the bureaucracy of the system,
Mm.
and then the outcome of Padme pleading her case to the Senate is that they must send a delegation to Naboo to prove that there's been an invasion of the Trade Federation.
Yes.
But the Jedi were just fucking there.
Yes.
And they saw it happen.
Exactly.
They were literally part of the invasion because they went down with the ships.
Yes.
And their testimony as being the private police force of the Senate
Yeah.
isn't worth anything in this court.
Yes.
It was so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Because then I think George wrote himself into a hole.
Mm.
Because he was like, okay, cool, then I can't get these people back to Naboo to have a big battle sequence with the
Exactly.
Trade Federation.
Yes.
Because then the bureaucracy will set in and take their trade franchise away.
Okay.
So I think there was a mistake there.
Yes.
It's like it needed 6 more drafts for him to like figure that out.
Mm. There's also the other problem with that is, so we know it's true. We know this is happening. The Jedi know it's happening. More proof that they don't like Qui-Gon. They just send Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. There's like a war supposed to be happening down there, and they
Yes.
sent 2 Jedi. Where's the rest of them? Send all of them.
Send
There's a
all the
war
Jedi.
going on, guys. And they're like, oh, just get rid of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get rid of Qui-Gon.
Just get rid of Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
Send him on
send
this
him
dumb
alone.
mission.
They just send those 2 by themselves to try and fight an entire war. What are you doing?
What the hell, dude? There's a lot that doesn't make sense about the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
And then again, anyone who's going to defend this and like challenge us in the comments
Yeah.
is going to be like, no, but that's the point. The Jedi are morally bankrupt. And
Yes.
no, it's actually just a bad script writing problem.
Exactly.
That's the source of this issue.
Yes.
And Padme's a pedo. Like we need to talk more about this. Well, she's 14, so she's a minor.
Yeah.
He's 9, so she's a minor.
Yes.
He's a minor. It's just messy.
Yeah.
But she's a queen. She has like responsibility and authority. She's a child queen.
Which makes no sense. She's an elected queen.
Oh, she's an elected queen?
Yes. She's
I forgot
elected
that.
to the role. It's not an elected position, guys.
No.
That's not how queen
So
works.
she's a president?
Basically.
Or a
but
prime minister?
I guess they called her, yeah. Yeah.
Like, surely
But there is a prime minister though of Naboo.
See?
Isn't the one the dude with like the pointy beard? Isn't he the prime minister? I'm sure they call him the
So
prime
then
minister.
they
at some
elect
point.
him, but then they also elect the queen.
It's like England. England has a queen and a prime minister.
Yeah, but the queen's not elected. She has divine birthright.
That's my point.
But then when we go back to Naboo in episode 2,
Yeah.
all of a sudden the queen is this much older woman
Yes.
that probably isn't related to Padme.
No, definitely isn't related to Padme.
So what's going on?
No one
George
knows.
was just like, queen elect. Maybe he was saying something about that's like the perfect system.
Sure.
that was the intention behind that.
Okay, maybe that's a good segue into George's politics and like how real world politics affected this. And I kind of wish it was a little clearer, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know. But real world politics, people will say, especially about the sequel trilogy, they don't like politics in Star Wars. Which is basically all they're saying is I was too young to notice the politics the first time around.
Right.
Because Star Wars has always been political.
And very much anti the American establishment.
Yeah. So what happened is George started writing this in 1994. And around that time, something called the Republican Revolution or the Gingrich Revolution happened, which is when under Bill Clinton as president, the Republicans in the midterms took back the House and the Senate.
Okay. So Bill Clinton couldn't do shit.
Yeah, essentially. Which was the first time the Republicans had controlled the House in 42 years, by the way.
Damn.
Yeah. Democrats were in charge for a long time, it seems. But this happened as he was starting to write. The beginning, it was originally called Star Wars The Beginning. It was like a week before they finished shooting that he actually named it The Phantom Menace.
Oh, wow. Thank God.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know which one's a worse title, but neither of them are very good.
Okay.
So what you had was, of your 3 branches of government, America has like 3 branches. 2 of them were controlled by Republicans and 1 of them was controlled by Democrats.
So there's like a deadlock.
Exactly. Senatorial deadlock is exactly what happened, which is what we see in the movie, right? Like the Senate that we see it, the Star Wars version of the Senate. We have Newt Gunray, who's one of our main antagonists, who is a combination of Newt Gingrich, Newt Gunray, and Ronald Reagan, Gunray Reagan, because George Lucas hates them both.
Okay.
So he named the bad guys after
So he
them.
wants to make them a racist Japanese stereotype.
I guess.
Okay, cool.
So for all intents and purposes, the Trade Federation is like a stand-in for Gingrich-era Republicans.
Okay.
And obviously George views them as, corrupt, like they're willing to manipulate to gain power and that sort of thing.
Yes.
You see this more as well. The guy who's always with Newt Gunray is Lot Dodd, who's named after the GOP Senate leader at the time. And then Chancellor Valorum is apparently based on Bill Clinton. You have all these
casting
things.
makes a lot more sense. Why do you make his hair white?
Right? You have these things that are influencing George. But it's like, what real impact do they wind up having, is my question.
Yes.
How does it improve things, I guess?
Right.
How does like his political messaging actually make it a better movie? Or I think it could very much make it a better movie if the writing was stronger. I think we just keep coming back to the thing of the writing.
Exactly. I think it's very valid inspiration for a world of bureaucracy set within Star Wars.
Exactly. Since like American politics has always played a role in Star Wars. American politics of the 70s played its role. So American politics of the 90s now has to play its role as well.
But it's just in how it plays out dramatically that it's not very satisfying. It's like a lot of show and tell.
It just comes down to, I don't know if that's the right way to put it. I don't know if he's a bad storyteller. Like his story is always good. George Lucas's story is always interesting.
I mean, they have to be at Star Wars.
Exactly. But it's just the execution always
script
suffers.
writing.
Yes. Script writing and just like visual kind of storytelling. George Lucas has 3 shots if you watch those movies. There's a wide, there's a medium, and then there's a camera up in the corner. George Lucas loves to put a camera up in the corner that looks down on things.
Oh, looks down at all the circles.
Yes.
Circles of people
He
talking.
does that constantly. There's a camera in the corner.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, why are we showing? It's like, it's an establisher for the environments. It's like a wide for the costume.
Yes.
And then it's a close-up for emotion.
Yeah. But he doesn't like, you go and watch, okay, this is maybe an unfair, but I don't think it is an unfair comparison. They kind of came up at the same time. You look at the way someone like Scorsese tells a story with the camera. His camera is like part of how he constructs a story.
Right.
And his editing is part of how he constructs the story.
Yes.
But George kind of doesn't have any of that. He doesn't do it in the same way. Look, I think part of it in episode 1 is the fact that he hadn't directed anything since 1977. For all intents and purposes, he directed Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Like the other, I can't even remember what the
Russ
other director.
Marquand.
He was just there because George wasn't part of the Directors Guild at the time, because they kicked him out because of the whole credits thing. But I think what it comes down to is just how inexperienced he's become.
Right.
He's just been, running companies and being a billionaire since then, and not actually making films. And then he decided this was the time when he's going to take on not just writing it, but directing it as well, which I think was him. Part of the problem is that he was taking on too much when he hadn't done it in such a long time.
And I think as part of this discussion, we need to talk about Marsha, his first wife.
Oh, yes.
Who played quite an important role in helping shape his thoughts critically around storytelling.
Okay.
Apparently there's, like in the original trilogy, she was kind of the sounding board for all of his ideas.
Right.
And he would go to her and say, like, I want to do this with the movie. Is this a good idea? And she'd be like, no,
Okay.
try to think of something else. And he'd do it.
Interesting.
But they divorced because of how hectic life got because of Star Wars.
Mm.
And she wasn't there. Like, I can't remember where I saw this interview. I think it must have been like some kind of documentary on YouTube where it's a lot of people were just talking about how important she was to his creative process. And that's fine. Everyone has a completely different creative process.
Yeah.
Some people work best in isolation.
Yes.
I'm the same. I need someone to like bounce ideas off of to understand my own thinking. And he had that person in Marsha, but then she wasn't there for the prequel trilogy.
Yes.
And a lot of people were making this comparison.
Okay.
That's just there's this kind of absence of this marshalling of ideas into something that's more coherent or more lucid.
Interesting.
Right? And it's far more like unrestrained. Right?
Yes.
And that's what you get in Star Wars Episode 1. You get a story that doesn't have a protagonist.
Yeah.
And no, it's not a multi-protagonist story.
Yes.
Because not everyone has an arc.
Exactly.
Also, the flaw. How do character flaws play a part in the conflicts and everything?
I think part of what influences that is Qui-Gon having such a prominent role was a late addition. Everything up until them reaching Coruscant was originally Obi-Wan.
Really?
It was just Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon only came into it once they got to the Jedi Temple. In some ways, I think is maybe better.
Absolutely.
Because the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan is like really central to this whole thing. But at the same time, you don't then get the story of the dead father figure who his death kind of propels both of them into a space they don't want to be, which then like kind of,
yes,
snowballs in the next films.
Obi-Wan and Anakin really fucking don't like each other.
Yes.
I mean, what's that thing that happens when they introduce Obi-Wan to Anakin? I can't remember. There's something where he's just like, hi.
Oh, right.
It's
It's supposed to be this like auspicious meeting.
Yeah, and he says, why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic creature?
Yes.
Like shame referring to poor Jar Jar. But then it's just like this guy doesn't like this kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And now just because of some kind of obligation to his master, he has to like take on this burden of mentoring a child long before he's ready to be a mentor.
Exactly. And the child who viewed Qui-Gon as like a father figure, having that taken away from him at this time when he had just been taken away from his mother.
There's no paternal connection between Anakin and Qui-Gon.
Yes, but like on paper there is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like that's what's supposed to be happening.
Yes.
He's just been taken away from his mother. He was rejected by the Jedi Council for some reason.
Yeah, but instead he gets a speech on midichlorians. He doesn't get any comfort.
Exactly.
I suppose that's a bit unfair because Qui-Gon does say something really cool to him.
Yeah.
Our actions determine our reality.
Oh, right.
I was like, oh, there's some cool Jedi wisdom there.
Yes.
I mean, like, he's not going to be someone that wants to comfort because the Jedi have got this Zen thing about them.
Exactly.
Like, where you can't.
That detachment.
Yeah, exactly. That detachment. So, poor child, dude.
Right, exactly. And also, like, Qui-Gon's whole plan now hinges on him winning this race. And he's a child. It's like, you do it, Qui-Gon.
Or Obi-Wan.
Yes, exactly.
Like they have Jedi reflexes.
Exactly. Like the whole point is like the kid is like, oh, I have Jedi-like reflexes. You have actual Jedi reflexes because you're a trained Jedi.
And literally
so
they
you
say
do the race.
he's never won a race before.
Yes.
So it's just like, this is some great strategy you have, Qui-Gon. But it's like, I think that's what George is interested in. He's just interested in the idea of faith.
Yeah, that's a good point. But from like a storytelling point of view, it's just this thing of things happening to allow this thing that George wants to do to happen.
Right.
He wants to do the pod race. So how can I like make the story happen in a way that gets us there?
This is a really good segue into our discussion around how Anakin is supposed to be this miraculous Force user.
Yes.
But never uses the Force. We never see this prodigious talent or this very intuitive understanding of this thing that he has. It's kind of just like, oh, you have a high midichlorian count. That's fucking boring.
Exactly.
I mean, you made the really good point that when his like little attachment to the side of the cockpit goes flying off.
He has a little magnet stick or whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah, and he uses the magnet stick to just like, with a prayer, just be like, oh, let's hope the magnetic force gets this thing flailing around in the air and then reattaches it.
Like, that's a perfect opportunity to show him, like, instinctively using the force.
Exactly.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yes. So it's like, there are opportunities for these things to happen, but instead, George is interested in, oh, he's a great pilot, because we needed to establish what was said in episode 4, like one of the greatest pilots, I think is the line.
Yeah.
Sorry if I got that wrong. It's been a while since I watched that.
Yeah. You know, allegedly the first cut of this was 6 hours long.
Don't joke.
You know, apparently. That's what, I think it was Jake Lloyd who said that. He said the first cut was 6 hours long. I'm genuinely surprised there hasn't been an insufferable #release the Lucas cut online.
Yeah, the Lucas cut. A lot of reflection on the movie over the years.
Yeah.
Like a lot of critical reflection and dissection, which is, I don't think, critically unfair. It's worth discussing the amounts of racist tropes in this movie.
Oh, yes.
Because you have the not Newt Gunrays, what are they called?
Oh, I can't remember what they're
Oh,
called.
I'd lose this question at the general knowledge Star Wars quiz. I knew this. Numenorians.
Okay. Pneumoidians?
No, I think it's Numenorians.
Okay.
We'll fact check ourselves.
Hey, editor, fact-checking here, as requested. It is, in fact, Pneumoidians. Numenorians are from Lord of the Rings. You lose nerd points for that one, Cole.
And a lot of people felt like, oh, wow, these are just bureaucratic dudes with like slit eyes and like Far East accents.
Yes.
You have Watto, who's a very stingy miser that's got a giant nose.
Yes.
And then Jar Jar, which is an interesting one.
The Jar Jar one is the most like complicated of them.
It is the most. At the same time, I'm not the person that can feel the sensitivity of that trope, so I'm just going to trust the people that do detect it. Anyone that hasn't listened to it must really go listen to the Redemption of Jar Jar Binks podcast, which is incredible. I think this is also where it talks about how massive Star Wars was, because they're trying to establish the hype and then the fallout that happened after that. And the fallout was pinned on people like Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
And it's like insane to hear what he went through emotionally post the thing. But a lot of people spoke about the fact that it reflected old stereotypes of how like African Americans were depicted in movies. What's that type of role called where it has like the white lips and the
minstrel shows, I think.
Yeah. Where a lot of people saw this as an evolution of that.
Okay.
Because the actor was African American. And I think to defend George Lucas, a lot of these decisions were made in ignorance.
Yeah, a lot of them, you also listening to Ahmed Best talking about it, he's like, I helped craft this character.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's like just George Lucas that did this. But Ahmed was like, I put all this effort into it as well. I made all these choices as an actor.
Exactly.
Because we know how divorced George is from the process, right?
Exactly. They get into it surprisingly quite a lot in the second season of Light and Magic, the ILM documentary series that's on Disney+. They get into this whole thing with Jar Jar Binks, and they talk to Ahmed Best about it quite a lot.
Right.
It is a really, really interesting story.
Yeah, it's like highly recommended for anyone to check it out. But it's like, it's worth just acknowledging that. So I think it's
Definitely,
like it's like a layer to this film's legacy.
Yeah, and I don't think it comes from it doesn't. I don't think at least come from like a malicious place.
Right.
I think it's ignorance.
No, absolutely. It's ignorance. It's not malicious.
Exactly.
Another thing that's really weird is the things that happen in the movie that are just never explained.
Okay.
I remember when we were watching it and you were like, what do the laser walls do?
Yes.
In Duel of the
like
Fates?
functionally, why are those there?
I think it's a trash chute
Who knows?
that Darth Maul falls down.
Yeah. It must be something like that.
Yeah.
There's a big tunnel down this.
I suppose a lot of people are just like, we don't need to explain why there's a ball of peace at the end. Just
a big electricity ball of peace.
Here's some peace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's just a lot of that in this movie as well. Where it's just like, oh, there's a thing.
Yes. And look, some of the stuff, you can do that kind of thing and just say, oh, it's world building. It's like, you don't have to explain it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, you don't have to explain why on Naboo giving them a big electric ball is a sign of peace.
Yeah, it's a custom.
Yeah.
It's a cultural custom of some kind.
Yes. You know, something that's just, it's not actually just dawning on me now, but I'm remembering now. People often criticize episode 7 for being too much like episode 4.
Yes.
Being too much like A New Hope. But episode 1 is also structured like episode 4.
Absolutely.
It absolutely, it like follows all those same beats.
There's a planet that you land on.
Yes.
You leave the planet.
A desert planet where they take the young Jedi leaves to like fulfill his destiny. And then he's the one who pilots the ship to blow up the big enemy threat.
Yeah, the big enemy threat space station.
Yes.
And there's an award ceremony at the end.
Yes.
Is there an award ceremony at the end of episode 7? I don't think there is.
No.
I think they're just hugging because
Yes.
Han died.
Yeah. Han. Yeah. I just want to briefly at the end of these mention stuff like, for instance, it cost $115 million, which these days sounds quite reasonable.
It does.
But at the time, that was like
astronomical.
Massive. I think the only thing that was bigger than that at the time was Titanic. And it made $924 million, which is surprising considering how like maligned it was.
Mm.
It actually did quite well. It's since gone on to be, with re-releases, it's now crossed over $1 billion. But even at the time, that was considered a little bit of a disappointment because it was like the return of Star Wars, and again, Titanic having come out 2 years earlier, kind of setting the standard for like what blockbusters can do.
Right.
They were expecting Titanic sort of numbers of, $2 billion sort of thing. But it had this initial like big build up.
Yes.
Which I'm going to recommend. I would talk about this, but there's a much better place to go and get this information. The marketing campaign around this movie was insane.
Really?
It was insane. It was huge.
I mean, there are quite a few documentaries that you can watch online that I've watched over the years that talk about just how fucking massive episode 1 was.
Yeah.
It was insane. I mean, like you had people queuing outside theaters for like 2 days.
Yes.
Before the movie to go in and watch it.
Exactly.
And there was like that in every cinema across the country.
Yeah.
It was just the biggest thing that had happened in pop culture ever.
Yeah.
It was massive. So why was the marketing campaign so insane?
Because of the way they licensed it.
Okay.
The original, there's a bunch of stuff about this. You can go find stuff on Netflix, like the toys that made us and that sort of thing. But specifically, I recommend, and I'll link below, Mr. Sunday Movies. The same guys who make the Weekly Planet podcasts. He has a video all about the marketing campaign and the licensing and everything. It's really good. It's really well researched. And it all stems from George kind of having the foresight to see the kind of potential of franchising and the potential of merchandise, basically. So in his contract, he specified things that the studio didn't think were important. Things like toy sales. So he got a way higher percentage of that than a director normally would because the studio just didn't think it was important. It's just not how things were done at the time in the 1970s. So George kind of taking the lead on that. And then doing kind of the same thing here, but times a million, like the number of licenses and that sort of thing. There were very few like actual licensed Star Wars products in the 70s. Whereas this, something like, I can't remember the exact number. I think it was 70-something different licenses with like manufacturers. So there was so much stuff.
So it's like when the film releases, these toys are going to be available.
Yeah.
Shirts are going to be available, everything.
Lunchboxes and like food deals. And they had like $1 billion. Oh,
they had that Jar Jar. Have you seen the Jar Jar Binks tongue thing?
Oh, yeah. They had like $1 billion contract or something with Pepsi. So there was a ton of Pepsi stuff happening.
Oh, wow.
It was insane. It was huge. And then the deal with Lego happened at the same time.
Okay.
Which has gone on to make massive amounts of money.
I mean, those games are fucking amazing.
Yeah, but also just like the Lego sets, like Star Wars, like the actual Lego
The greatest thing I owned was Anakin's Pod Racer, the Lego set.
Oh, cool.
That was the fucking coolest thing I ever had, and I wish I hadn't thrown it away.
Oh.
I donated all my Legos.
Yes.
Didn't throw it away, but I donated all of them, and I'm like, fuck.
There must be like a modern version of that you can get.
I did see one the other day, but it's like a kid's Lego with less pieces.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like a decent Lego set.
Yes.
But it's also not one of those 20,000 piece Millennium Falcon
things.
That
cost like 15,000
rand. Oh my god, like a little micro salary in South Africa.
Exactly. I think that's about all we have to say about episode 1.
Yeah.
For me, at the end of the day, I think its biggest sin is that it's boring.
Yeah.
That's like, I could forgive a lot of these problems if it was like shitloads of fun. But it's just like, it's kind of freaking dull.
It's very uninteresting and boring until you get to pod racing.
Yes.
And then it's like more bureaucracy. Yeah. And then it's lightsaber fight.
Which, by the way, to mention that quickly, I think it has the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
I think especially the big one right at the end with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is another point to circle back again, my lord. We just keep going back to these things. The fact that 2 Jedis, including like a master and a guy who's about to be a master, have a really hard time fighting one apprentice Sith is indicative of the problems with the Jedi as well as all these other things. Like
Yes.
they like have a really hard time. And he kills one of them. And he's supposed to be the apprentice. It's just all shadows of like what the Jedi have like allowed
it's just like
themselves to
they
become.
obviously like think that, oh, these Jedi that we have are the best duelists.
Yeah.
If I can beat them, I can like be a good sword fighter.
Yeah.
But then they meet like these proper threats.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
they're
when
just,
faced
like,
with a real threat, they just like crumble.
They're just like completely outclassed
Yeah.
because like it's something like 100 years or something that there hasn't been a Sith like around.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, we're now moving on.
Yes.
To Star Wars : Episode 2 - Attack of the Clones. What a name.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones. Spoiler.
There's clones in it and they're going to attack things.
I think it's cool to start off this discussion to say, like, we were talking about how, like, you could feel there's this lack of craft in episode 1 from a directing standpoint.
Yes.
Episode 2 has far more mood to it.
Yes.
It has far more craft. The lighting is better. It doesn't feel as flat.
Yeah.
I think there's still a mismatch between, because it's like famously it's the first digital movie. And there's this mismatch in a lot of the scenes between on-set lighting and the environments.
Okay.
Like if you pause scenes like in Padme's like little waiting area while she's sleeping, I remember noticing it there.
Right.
Where it just feels like they lit these things and then built the environments and were like, oh fuck, like the light sources are not the same.
Okay, yeah.
So there's some of that where you can really feel the green screen. But I think by and large it has these incredible moments that just feel so epic and large.
Yeah.
It's like kind of an evolution of what George is doing well in Pod Racing and Duel of the Fates, where the rest of the movie is cinematically flat.
Yes.
Like it looks terrible. It's just circles and like no contrast, no depth, no like differences between lights and dark and lighting. But there's a lot more of this. Like you think of that scene where Anakin is on the speed racer going across Tatooine to find his mother, and they play Duel of the Fates. You're just like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's just cool and beautiful to look at. Like when they're going through and it's like this, I think it's a harnessing of the digital environment for the first time that George Lucas thrives within.
Yes.
There's like this real skill around like crafting Coruscant when they're like flying through the speed races chasing after the assassin.
Yes.
Where it just feels so rich and there's like this depth and there's this contrast of like these bright lights and like these darker spaces. I just like think like there's, to George's credits, I think it feels like more of an indication of his style.
Yes.
Than episode 1 did.
Exactly.
Episode 1 is like stumbling.
He's like regained a lot of confidence as a director.
Exactly. But that didn't help the performances.
No.
Still, I think it's his biggest weakness because I think the downfall in this movie is that it's hinged on a romance.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I would hate to be, if that's how George Lucas writes romance, I'd hate to be wooed by him. I just like, I don't think there's a good indication there of you know, true love, or at least the translation of it into drama, because it doesn't feel well.
It's so unconvincing.
Yes.
Like you're just left going, why would she fall in love with him?
No, totally.
Like why?
Why is this man attractive?
Exactly.
Is it just because he looks like in the gay community, like famously when he's having that nightmare scene and his nipples are showing?
Oh, right.
People are fucking obsessed with that scene, of course, because, you know, it was superficial as fuck.
Yes.
But then, like, is that must be the reason she likes him, because he's a whiny little brat rest of the time.
He's a whiny, violent man-child.
Yes.
So
it's awful.
Why does she fall in love with him? There's no indication as to like when that happens.
And it's also like
what it is about him that finally like gets to her.
When they first meet each other on Coruscant.
Yes.
Do you feel any electricity in the air?
No.
In that moment?
No.
Like surely when they meet each other, like destiny is at play in a lot of Star Wars.
Yes.
And there's like these two are fated to be in love.
Yes.
Right? I don't feel that for a fucking second. Mm-mm. It's just like, I've dreamed about you every day. You're like, don't say that, dude.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Like, you're fucking this up. Like, I could just imagine Obi-Wan being like, this guy is fucking this up so hard. This is like I'm watching a ship crash and burn.
Yes. And then later in the film, we get the scene where he confesses to murdering an entire village of people, women and children included, and it garners sympathy from her.
Yeah.
Why?
Like from this, like very idealized, or this person who has these ideas about democracy and the world and is just and noble. And she's just like, oh, sorry, poor Anakin.
Yes. It's like, Padme, that's not a red flag. That is like a red textile factory. Walk away, girl.
Walk away.
Jeez, like.
No, this is not okay. Again, the moment when Anakin is looking down at Shmi, she passes away, which is also one of the worst death scenes in cinema history.
Yes.
Hi. Hello? Me? You? And when she dies, the moment he looks up, and then you have the John Williams cue of cellos, like, you're like, oh, fuck, he bought it.
Yes.
He brought it, and it was fucking amazing. It's like one of those moments where there's just this perfect marrying of like music and directing.
Yes.
Where George gets it. He's like, that's the emotion.
Where like the pieces kind of fall into place.
That's like visual storytelling, George. More of that, please. You know?
Yes.
So like, to his credit, there are incredible moments in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was watching it high because I decided that like I'd also seen this film like 50 times.
Yeah.
And I needed to do something different to enjoy it again.
Something new to the experience.
Exactly. And I enjoyed it so much more, dude. Highly recommended to watch episode 2 and episode 3 high because I was having the best time, dude. Like Graeme was probably sitting there listening to a lot of my like very lucid observations, having a good time.
Okay, other things that I like about this movie.
Okay.
I want to talk about things I like. I like that Anakin and Obi-Wan clearly aren't friends.
Right.
They do not get along.
Yes.
Like, it's very easy for the kind of bickering and squabbling to become irritating.
Right.
But it feels like really justified here, and it actually like informs their characters.
Right.
It feels like this continuation of all these things that we're talking about, how they're both forced into this situation after this father figure died, and they're in a situation that neither of them want to be in, and Obi-Wan isn't prepared for. It just feels like this is where they would be, these two people who don't like each other, but are being forced to like have this bond.
Right.
You know, this like inseparable bond.
I don't see it as... I think I do feel a development of the bond between them in a positive trajectory. Like there's the moments in the lift where they're laughing about the story about falling into the nest of Gundarks.
Yes.
There's kind of a very like familial kind of bickering when they're talking about like how he mustn't go through power couplings or it feels like playful teasing.
Okay.
But then there are the moments where you feel like he's fucking frustrated with Anakin because he always does this stupid shit.
Exactly.
Which is also like, why the blazes is he on Tatooine?
Yes.
It's like, you know why he's on Tatooine, because he had nightmares about his mom.
Yes. But I really like that scene where, towards the end of the film, when they're following Dooku.
Yes.
And they like hit the sand dune or whatever, where Padme falls out. And Anakin's like, we got to go get her. We're going to go back. And Obi-Wan just like snaps.
Yes.
And he's like, he's like reached his point. He's like, shut up, like stop.
Yes.
Like just stop now. I've had enough of the shit.
Exactly.
I really like that moment.
It's cool because you get to see the master Padawan dynamic play out.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Like we're here for a reason. The reason isn't her. You need to freaking focus.
Exactly.
You know?
It's kind of like an audience. It's like a validation to the audience as well because you're just like, come now.
Exactly.
Stop it.
Yeah. And I think that it also, you know, this movie continues to build on all these things we're talking about the Jedi. Like you have the scene with the librarian where Obi-Wan's looking for the planet. He's looking for, what's the planet called? Kamino, thank you. And she's like, if it's not in our records, then it doesn't exist.
Arrogant bitch.
Exactly. Like that's what the Jedi believe about themselves.
Right.
You know, and like communicating that in that way. I think that's actually like a good communication of that.
Right.
It's not like saying, it's not like pointing a figure at it. So no one says that's really arrogant and, you know, like clearly not truthful. It's just presenting like this is how the Jedi, this is what the Jedi believe about themselves. I think that's good.
Exactly.
There's a lot to say about Anakin.
There's
in both
plenty.
of these, in 2 and 3, there's so much to say about Anakin as a character. I think it's clear, it's really interesting that you have this angry, confused teenage boy who's going through like normal teenaged angst, but is also like expected to be essentially a monk. Right. You know, as well as having all these like obviously very severe mental health problems
Yes.
that the Jedi have no idea how to deal with.
Right.
Like that is not taken into consideration at all
Right.
with like the doctrine and their dogma and all that stuff.
It's also, it plays out in that scene where Yoda senses Anakin's pain when his mother dies.
Mm,
And then he's like, young Skywalker's in terrible pain.
yes.
And he doesn't give him a phone call.
Yes.
He doesn't like reach out
No.
and check out what's going on.
Yes.
He doesn't like intervene
Mm,
if like these big emotions are are a red flag for the Jedi.
exactly.
Why is there not this like very urgent response to it?
Mm, exactly.
Right? It's kind of just this very willing arrogance to like turn a blind eye towards it.
Exactly. And when they do actually, we'll get to episode 3, but when they do talk about it, there's a scene where Yoda and Anakin are actually like talking to each other, and they're like sitting on the Yoda's little round chairs. And he says something along the lines of like, you have to learn to let go of everything you hold dear, basically. Which is basically Yoda saying, you know, these feelings that you're having, how about you just don't?
How about you don't feel
Just
them,
don't
dude?
feel that.
Yeah.
Like that's the Jedi teaching. That's like what they believe.
Yes.
Which is really interesting.
Which is, yeah, I like, this is where I really do enjoy Luke Skywalker in episode 8. Obviously, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Because it's a critique of all of this.
Exactly.
And which like shows incredible maturity. I don't get why people hate it.
Yeah. So much to say about that, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Like when we have that chat. But this is just like a very flawed religion.
Exactly.
Like, that George is very critical of.
Exactly.
And it's interesting to be in a space where you have the good guys being critiqued as much as they are in this film.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a surprising amount of depth, like compared to episode 1.
Exactly.
In terms of how it's being communicated here through drama, through scenes with subtext.
Yes.
Right?
It's like Anakin's frustration with the council is both an expression of his narcissism, but also entirely justified.
Yes.
Like him saying, I should be more powerful, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's like this narcissistic thing for him, but he's right about them being wrong.
Absolutely.
Essentially.
Yes. I still think that the expression of those moments is a bit juvenile.
He doesn't seem to, it's interesting that he doesn't seem to understand what the problem is.
Yes.
Which I guess them being juvenile kind of makes sense because he's a teenage boy who again is being raised as a monk. He's not being taught how to deal with his emotions.
Yes.
He's not being taught how to speak to women. You know, he literally doesn't know these things.
Yes.
So him being emotionally stunted actually kind of makes sense.
It does make sense.
I don't think it's necessary. Again, the execution here is always the problem.
Yes.
I don't think it's necessarily well executed, but the idea is good.
Yeah. But I think the problem with how it's expressed is a lot of it results in someone you don't particularly empathize with.
Yes. Exactly.
So I think there's a handling of it that is a bit clumsy from George's side. Where, yes, I understand what you're trying to do. Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But then still, when I see Anakin bitching about Obi-Wan, holding him back, when I see him like talking about murdering Tusken Raiders, when I see him complaining about not being on the Jedi Council, it just feels so bratty and shit and unlikable.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I think like
it doesn't feel like a true injustice.
It doesn't feel like a true injustice, but like I think for the purposes of writing a tragedy, which George is interested in this trilogy, you have to kind of love the character.
Yes.
You have to like really sympathize with them to feel the heartbreak that drives them to like do all the terrible things that people do in tragedies.
Exactly.
Right? You really have to sympathize with them. And I like feel very little sympathy for Anakin in these movies.
Yeah.
You know? I think like when you watch Clone Wars, that's a completely different story.
Because he's a completely different character.
Yeah, like someone wrote a character there. It feels like this is, I don't know like what the right metaphor is to describe this, but like it's the surface layer of an onion.
Yes.
And that's all we see. We don't see like a cross section of that onion.
Exactly.
At all. Like I think that's what you get to see when you watch good writing. You see like the layers and you see all the subtext. But with Anakin, it's kind of just, oh, he's throwing a tantrum because he's arrogant, or he's throwing a tantrum because he's like young and emotionally stunted.
Yes.
That's like all we see. And beyond that, I'm kind of just like, okay, the only reason I care about this guy is that he has a mom that he's trying to save.
And he's going to be Darth Vader.
And he's going to be Darth Vader.
Yes. Like we know that.
Like we're told.
Exactly.
We predict this.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason you really care about him.
Yes.
You know, and that's like that flaw comes into play when and then when Padme falls in love with him again, where it's just like when she pulls into him.
Yes.
When they're leaning on the balcony, he's talking about sand.
Yeah.
And he's just like awkwardly touching like her skin.
Yes.
And I'm just like, none of this is convincing.
No, not at all.
None of this feels electric.
It like really reduces her character because she's supposed to be this she was this, apparently we're told, super well respected leader.
Yes.
She's supposed to be like intelligent and worldly and all these things like, beyond her age sort of thing.
Yes.
But then we get this.
And all the people I've met who are like that would like look at Anakin and turn away and be like, this is a child.
Exactly.
I'm completely not interested in them.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
But I think again, it talks to how frustrating this is because I think the story, you brought it up a little bit ago, Anakin and his mother. That whole thing is I was thinking about this afterwards. It's really interesting, but badly executed again.
Okay.
We have this whole story of, so we know that he thinks about his mother. He knows something's wrong with her, blah, blah, blah. We get all that thing. And we get the story of, when you say it out loud, it sounds terrible. She was bought by a guy who then married her, which sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But the way the movie presents it is she was freed and she lived happily.
Yes.
Like that's the way the movie presented. So if we looked at it that way, that's exactly what Anakin promised her. I'm going to come back, I'm going to free you, and we will be happy.
Yes.
But his reaction to her kidnapping, and her death and everything, exposes his narcissism in a serious way because he was supposed to free her.
Right.
She was supposed to be happy with him.
Yes.
And these things happened independently of his actions.
Right.
Right. So his mother's fate was more about his power.
Right. He was this person that was fated to be able to be the most powerful Jedi that could come and free the slaves and could do all these good things.
And it completely it distorts his love for her.
Right.
In this way that makes him appear like so self-important and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And I think that's really interesting. I don't think it's well executed, but it's a really interesting story.
That's not in the drama at all for me.
Exactly.
Like I love that you're thinking that way because it's the potential of what the moment could mean.
Yes.
If that is George's intention, which I don't think it was.
Mm.
Maybe it was. I think he is a super intelligent guy.
Yeah.
But it's just how it's executed that it just doesn't translate to the audience.
That's my problem. It's the execution is just the problem time and time again.
Because there are all these micro moments are hints of dark side corruption.
Exactly.
Right? And then you're following this breadcrumb trail towards Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But then emotionally it doesn't resonate in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really cool thought. I love that. But the best thing about this movie is Obi-Wan's little side quest.
Oh, right. His little detective story.
His little detective story.
Yes.
It is so good.
It's fun.
It is so much fun. And also the graphic fidelity of the Camino ones.
Mm.
That's what Dexter calls them. And Dexter.
Yeah.
They look great.
Yes.
They still hold up really well.
Mm.
And the textures and everything is just madly impressive.
Yeah.
But the entire exercise of Obi-Wan going to go find the lost planets, there's genuine intrigue.
Yes.
And I think it's one of the best subplots in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to watch. There's Jango Fett and his
rotten little boy.
His rotten little boy. Oh, that kills me.
Yes.
It's it's just small things like that rip you out of your engagement with the story.
Exactly.
You're watching this really cool car chase sequence in space with the asteroid field.
Mm.
And then it's we got a little surprise for him, Boba. And it's Boba.
Yeah.
Where's Sohib? It's terrible.
Yeah. Because it is doing all those things that Star Wars is so good at. It's imaginative and it's vibrant.
Yes.
I think especially you were talking earlier about, the contrast and the visuals of this film. Movies don't really look like this anymore.
No.
They're
flat.
Modern
Marvel
cinematography
flat.
is so flat, dude. Obviously there's some cinematographers who are still doing it.
Yes.
But no one wants to light movies anymore.
No.
Because digital cameras have that thing that the What's the word?
What,
I'm
that
looking for?
f-stop range?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can like see all the shadows and everything, and
Exactly.
like see all the detail within. And then if you're in a post-production suite and you drag that little slider across,
Yeah.
where like a shadow on a piece of clothing will be completely black,
Mm.
and then you just pull that little slider across, and then all of a sudden you can see all the creases and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always about exposing that detail.
Yeah.
And it's like for the sake of it being more detailed
Mm.
and less moody
Mm.
and just flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like watching Marvel movies. They look ugly.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of modern stuff looks that way.
Yes.
It's really frustrating.
I mean, like James Cameron still has it down.
Oh, yeah, there are still guys who do it. Like, if you watch anything filmed by, like, Greg Fraser, you know, and it looks incredible.
Who's Greg Fraser?
The Batman, Dune.
Oh,
He shot all of those.
okay.
He's the guy who basically developed with ILM, I think, or with NVIDIA, the whole Void thing. With like which is why like only the first season of The Mandalorian looks good, because he seems to be the only one who knows how to use it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see.
And it's all over the place these days. Okay, but we're going off on tangents here.
Yeah.
I think in general, I like this. A lot of people seem to feel the other way about this. They think this is the worst of the trilogy.
Oh, no.
I like this a lot more than Phantom Menace.
A lot more than Phantom Menace. Like, it's definitely not the worst.
Mm.
That it looks better.
Looks way better.
It looks better. I think it's got far more style.
Yeah.
I think it's got like some kind of cinematic nuance to it,
Mm.
which the Phantom Menace is void of.
Yes.
It has a coherent subplots.
Yeah.
It has a coherent differentiation between protagonists and journeys.
Yes.
There's a lot more going on in episode 2 than there is in episode 1.
Yeah.
It's a much superior movie.
Yeah. And you can feel it coming from the returning actors have clearly now understood what kind of director George Lucas is. So they now understand what they have to do to bring to it.
Yes.
The performances are all so much more lively. Like
Yes.
Ewan McGregor has like so much more.
Yeah, this is the movie where Obi-Wan became likable.
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't in episode 1
Exactly.
at all. Like, he was not a character there.
Yes. And that's not just from the writing, it's also from the performance. I think
Mm,
Ewan McGregor just like has a handle on this now and he knows how to deal with the material.
exactly.
You know, so it just feels like it's elevated, it's lively, it's much more fun to watch.
Mm.
He's more like way more engaging to watch and to listen to and all these things.
Isn't this the movie where Jar Jar Binks gives supreme powers to,
Yep.
like, it starts enacting the plot because he was so easy to manipulate?
Exactly. Because he's a
Like,
big
Padme
dummy.
was like, I'm going to leave all this responsibility with you. Someone who's famously trustworthy and not, like, notorious for fucking things up.
Yes. I think in the expanded universe stuff that got him banished again. So Jar Jar was technically banished from Underwater City again because he's the one who technically gave Palpatine power of the Senate.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They banished him?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Again.
He deserves some kind of punishment.
Right?
Some story logic moments.
Oh, yes.
Where Dooku is just like, what does he say in that lightsaber fight when they use their lightning
Oh,
powers?
yes. This clearly cannot be decided by our power with the Force or whatever. Where it clearly can.
Yeah, Yoda just absorbed all your lightning, bro,
Yes.
and deflected all of it.
Yeah.
He's like outclassed you.
Exactly.
He's like, no, I have to use my lightsaber to fight you.
Yeah, exactly.
And isn't Dooku supposed to be like the best duelist
I think something like that.
in the like extended material?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know John Knoll, who was the visual effects supervisor, who's also the guy who invented Photoshop.
Oh, wow.
He said to George Lucas, this should be like a wizard battle. Apparently he used Akira as a reference. He showed George Akira. And he's like, this is what it should be like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene in Akira where they're using their telekinesis powers.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, this is what it should be like.
Yeah, then
Which
Yoda
would have
pulls
been
out.
fucking sick.
Wasn't it like quite controversial that Yoda pulled out a lightsaber?
Yeah, I think some people had like a problem with Yoda having a lightsaber for some reason.
Yeah, because they were attached to like old school Yoda.
Yes. I don't know. I think Yoda bouncing off the walls like a weird little frog is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's cool.
I think it is cool.
But talking about Dooku, I do want to go off a little Dooku tangent here.
Oh,
I think he's interesting as a character.
he's super
I
interesting.
don't think this is this thing of it just things being lost in execution, right? Like that to me, especially like I have a hard time watching these movies these days because I stop listening. I stop listening to what the characters are saying. So when on the occasion that they say something interesting, it like goes over me because I'm like,
Right.
I don't care about what they're saying because I know most of it's bad.
Yes.
But if you like listen to the conversation when Obi-Wan's in his little floaty jail
yeah.
and Dooku comes to talk to him, I think it's really interesting because of the like implied sincerity in Dooku.
Right.
It's like, it seems like he's actually trying to win Obi-Wan over to his side. Like, he's not just doing it for like airs and graces. He's not talking to him out of obligation. Like, he's actually trying to win Obi-Wan to his side.
Okay.
And it's interesting because Dooku's telling him the truth.
Yes.
Dooku's telling him that the Senate is being controlled by the Sith.
Yes.
And the Jedi too arrogant to see it. He is right.
But this is also very confusing because I saw it as a manipulation tactic to try to turn him to the dark side.
Right.
Because he's still working for Sidious.
Yes.
He's still like part of the entire scheme, right? Because he's like Sidious is always playing both sides of the field. He's like playing Naboo and Padme,
yes,
or Queen Amidala. He's busy playing the Trade Federation. Here he's playing the Separatists and then the Senate at the same time and the Jedi. Like there's all this manipulation going on. So I never saw it as like him trying to like sincerely. Well, no, I think like you're right. His tactic is like, okay, cool. I'm going to come to you with the truth and see what you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's telling the truth because and we kind of learn more about this in like expanded stuff, like in Tales of the Sith and that sort of thing. He actually does want to destroy the Sith.
He does?
Dooku.
So is he playing Sidious?
Yes, that's like that's what he's trying to do here. But he recognizes that he can't do it with the Jedi as they are. So the Jedi as they are need to be like taken down so that something else can take their place to defeat the Sith.
Okay.
I think that's genuinely what he wants, but the Jedi are unable or unwilling to acknowledge that their own power is either diminished or was never as great as they say it is.
Yes.
You know? And because we get that moment when Obi-Wan finally turns him down. If you watch his performance, it's like, it's not like, oh well, or like he's angry or something. He seems like genuinely disappointed. Right?
Right.
Because we learn more about Dooku, especially Dooku's relationship with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yes.
And how you don't get the sense of this in the movie at all, but something you learn later on is that Dooku was still with the Jedi at the period of Episode 1.
Oh,
it feels like he hasn't been with the Jedi for like decades or whatever.
Yeah, it does.
But he was still there, and it was only after Qui-Gon's death that he left.
Okay.
And that whole thing, you get this, there's a really good episode of, I think it's Tales of the Sith, I must check, which is like the animated shorts. Okay. That are sort of done in Clone Wars style. They're on Disney Plus.
Tales of the Jedi?
There's Tales of the Jedi, there's Tales of the Sith, there's Tales of the Underworld. There's like a bunch of them that are all these shorts. And he's really, you get the sense of how frustrated he is with like the power dynamic within the Jedi. Like the people who are put on the council are the people who are obedient and the people who follow orders and the people who do as they're told.
Yes.
As opposed to the people who are always doing the right thing.
Okay.
So there's like this conflict between him and Mace Windu. Mace Windu is put on the council because in a situation that they were both in, Mace Windu followed orders, Dooku didn't.
Okay.
So Mace Windu is given preferential treatments.
Of course.
And that sort of thing is like, that's what gets under his skin and like...
See, it's such interesting stuff to know because the world is so rich with the context beyond itself.
Yeah.
But then again, it feels very much like these films. People talk about the vision that George had across the trilogy.
Yes.
And that's absent from the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
And I kind of like with this kind of thing where it's like, oh, Darth Maul dies, Dooku's there. There's no establishment for Dooku before this movie.
Yes.
There's no continuation. There's no through line.
Exactly.
It all just still feels completely scattered to me. Yeah. I get like that Palpatine's plots is the like coherence and Anakin's fall to the dark side is the coherence across like the trajectory of the stories.
Yes.
But then within that, I think like the antagonism is so mishandled.
Yeah.
So if you think about how all of that like builds, if it's included in the movies, builds this really complex layered story around the Jedi.
Yeah.
And should have been included in Episode 1.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Like he obviously had these thoughts, but then just chooses to rather tell us these things in dialogue scenes.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, I was close to Qui-Gon. I wish you were here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just like we could have handled this a little bit better.
Yeah. I think Episode 2 should have been Episode 1.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't it that story about, is it Justin Long?
Okay.
No, it's not Justin Long. It's the guy... No, man, it's Topher Grace.
Yeah, he does fan edits of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wanted to teach himself editing. So he cut the prequel trilogy down into a single movie and he started it with Duel of the Fates.
Okay, interesting.
Because it just starts with the death of Qui-Gon and the context for Obi-Wan becoming Anakin's master.
Okay.
So like through the like exercise of editing and determining what matters to story, where's the focus, what's the through line, the whole of Episode 1 didn't matter.
Yeah.
You could like lose all of us.
You can literally explain episode 1 in a single sentence. You can have Anakin say, I was a slave on a desert planet until the Jedi found me. That's it. That's the only piece of information you need from that movie.
Right.
And then we can jump forward. You know? Yeah. And that solves other problems. Like you were talking about the scene where Anakin and Padme are reintroduced to each other.
Yes.
If that was the moment where they met for the first time,
right,
the scene makes more sense.
Absolutely.
You know, the like awkwardness of it and how he doesn't know how to, he's confronted with a beautiful woman for the first time in his life and he has no idea how to deal with it.
That's absolutely true.
You know?
You don't need anything else before that.
Yes.
For it to make sense.
And then episode 3 then becomes episode 2 and then that opens you up to a totally different version of episode 3.
Yes.
Because surely, in terms of, I know to an extent it's just like fan service and what fans want, but what fans want is Darth Vader.
Yes.
You know, so episode 3 could have been essentially a Darth Vader movie. Even if he's not, like, you can totally, I don't know, it's probably not the place to have this conversation, but you can restructure this whole thing in a way that he has essentially become Darth Vader without joining Palpatine yet.
Yes.
Like what I think, because they sort of do this thing where he gets the arm cut off so he gets the robot arm, so it's like the transformation has begun. I think it should, like, the end of episode 2 should have been more severe than that.
Right.
So you get this, he's closer to being Darth Vader.
Right.
Physically, which pushes it, which also plays a part in him being there mentally, you know?
Yes.
So where he's like physically kind of destroyed. And then you have this like proto Vader. Because the suit, we can talk about, I'll just skip to it now. I was going to say this at the end when we talk about episode 3, but the Darth Vader suit pre-existing, it's just like ready to go.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. Like, is that just like a suit that all burn victims are put in? So there's
so
a
why
bunch
there
of
not
Darth
more
Vaders?
Darth Vaders
Yes.
lying around? Absolutely. But then with what you're describing, it feels like more of a bespoke thing that's constructed as the need arises for the injuries that I can get.
Yes.
You know?
Which, in a way, we kind of get a little bit of that. You were talking about how the antagonism is like really a problem here. It needed a consistent antagonist across all 3.
Yeah,
that isn't Palpatine, because Palpatine exists like in the background. He's just like shadowy
he's the Phantom
force.
Menace, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
So he's not meant to be the foreground antagonist.
Yes. So like Maul, Dooku, and
Grievous
should have been the same character. That should be one guy across all 3 of them.
Absolutely.
And you can do that.
Absolutely.
You can do this guy who kind of emerges, and then it's revealed in episode 2 that he's actually a former Jedi who trained Qui-Gon Jinn.
And also left the Jedi because they were so arrogant.
Yes. And then this horrible thing happens to him where he becomes robotic, which we don't see. Like, we just know that this has happened to him.
And now he's like a general for the Separatists.
Yes.
And also controls the Separatists.
And in a way, his story kind of mirrors Anakin's.
Yes.
You know, because they go through similar things. So, like, you could do all of that.
It's so much better to have a parallel.
Yes.
That's so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done all of that in episode, in 2 and 1 and 2.
Yes. Is this a good segue for episode 3, or is there another thought you had for episode 2?
I can just end it off with this. We can end it on the similar thing. It had the same budget as the previous one, $115 million. Obviously, the technology was
far
further along that they could do more with less kind of thing. Like,
Yes.
they developed a lot of that stuff. Made $645 million, so that's like a pretty big drop off, which is understandable.
Right.
And I don't think this one ever, like the previous one had like 3D re-releases and all that sort of thing. They've never, like episode 2, even very recently, we had the episode 1 re-release that we watched.
Yes, I remember
at the
that.
Bioscope. And then also this year, we didn't get it in South Africa for some reason. They did the anniversary re-release of episode 3.
Yeah, which is frustrating. It was 25th anniversary, wasn't it? Yeah.
But you never see that stuff for episode 2. Episode 2 is kind of like this forgotten movie in a way.
Yes.
Because for some reason, people think it's worse than episode 1.
That's dumb.
But I think it's a
you're
lot
all
better
wrong.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think everyone's wrong.
Yes.
My opinion's the valid one. Yeah, I think look, episode 3 continues with that evolution and maturing of George Lucas's style through these 3 movies.
Definitely.
You know, where it starts at episode 3 with that space battle.
Yes.
And it just feels immense and huge and fun and action-packed and goofy. It's got all like the trademarks of his style.
Exactly.
Like it's like he really wants to have fun in this movie and he really wants to entertain with comedy, but he also wants it to be epic and large.
Yes.
So
and tragic.
And tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, like all of those things work really well
Yeah.
in these movies. I mean, you have the incredible Mustafar sequence. You have the like brilliance. I don't know what that planet is where Obi-Wan's chasing Grievous on a bike.
Yes.
Like all the planets that, all the like variations of design where the Jedi like die in Order 66. Like all of it feels like we understand how to make a 3D shot look brilliant. We understand like all the different layers that are required, like the atmospheric textures and the like single light source with fillers and all of these things that just make something feel so live and real. Like I think it's definitely his like prettiest movie.
Yeah.
By far. Not my favorite John Williams score. I think episode 1 was still better.
Cool.
Like it just felt like way epic and cool. Yeah, and then of course we have all the issues that this film has as well.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, I know like a lot of people, and especially with the re-release now, the 25th re-release.
Yeah.
I saw that it literally went from like a 3.6 or something on Letterboxd to like 4.
Yes.
It like everyone was saying like masterpiece, best Star Wars movie, 5 out of 5.
Exactly.
Because like everyone that was a kid is now an adult.
Yeah.
And it's just like this film is like the best prequel Star Wars movie, which I think is fair. Like it absolutely is.
Yeah, it's the best of these 3.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But goddamn, it still has problems.
Yes.
It still has so many issues.
Yes.
Just like, why the fuck wasn't he Vader when he killed all the Jedi in the council, like at the temple?
I don't know, dude.
I have such problems with that scene anyway. Like,
yes.
Yeah, like I don't know where to start. Do you have a place to start?
We can start with, well, there's a lot to say about Anakin, so we can start with Anakin.
Okay.
Again, him being central to this whole thing. I think as a character, he's kind of baffling.
Yes.
I don't think it's Hayden Christensen's fault. I know his acting is criticized a lot.
Yes.
Sometimes it's fairly, but he is doing what's on the page.
Yes.
He's performing this character as it was written.
Yes.
You know, he's doing what he can with the material that he's been given.
Yes.
And like probably the lack of direction that he's getting. You know, I think I don't think Hayden Christensen is the problem with Anakin.
Right.
I think he's a good enough actor to be able to play this character if it was better written, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
But I just find him like so confusing. Like he flip flops a lot. Like there's a series of scenes where he goes from being angry at the council to him apologizing to Obi-Wan to him complaining to Padme about all the problems and everything. But it's like 3 consecutive scenes, so his like opinion on these things is just like flip flopping back and forth. And I guess it's supposed to tell us that he's conflicted.
Right.
Because the Skywalker boys are all conflicted. Luke is conflicted.
Yes.
Ben is conflicted.
Like they're meant to be like the human center of Star Wars.
Exactly. They all have that like inner turmoil thing that they do. But it's just, it makes him seem like a crazy person.
It does.
And a bit of an idiot.
And also inauthentic.
Yes.
And untrustworthy.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, you're two-faced.
Exactly.
Like to all these people that you trust. Like, so the side you're presenting to Padme is not the side you're presenting to Obi-Wan, which makes sense. But then is your bond with Obi-Wan truly as deep as we want you to believe it is?
Yes.
So that we believe in the tragedy of this friendship being destroyed?
Especially since in this one, they do really feel like friends.
Absolutely.
Like in contrast to the previous one, when they're like butting heads a lot and complain, and like you have that bickering fairly frequently. Here, it's like these two guys feel like friends. And I don't think they have enough scenes together.
No.
They split them up quite early on in the film, and then they don't get back together until the very end. But it feels like we needed more of like the two of them together and like
which also should have been episode 2.
Yes.
Like surely. Like we should have seen the growth between that bond, but they split them up in both movies.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It just makes things feel like very incoherent.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and also Red Eyes is the dumbest decision ever made in Star Wars.
It's so silly.
What the fuck is that?
It's so silly.
It's like, I'm so evil, my eyes are red.
His eyes are red and he's crying.
It's like, come on. Like that's a moment where you're just like, George, that's juvenile.
He's evil, but he's sad about it.
This is like, I mean, this is where you see that it's a movie made for 14-year-old boys.
Yes, this is true.
Right? Like, it's that contrast between, oh, the subject matter is so layered and complex, and we have this fall of an empire, nonsensical shift from pure democracy to total totalitarianism, and everyone's applauding.
Yes.
Which never made sense to me. It's like, surely people would not concede power like that.
Exactly.
I mean, I think there is a precedent with Julius Caesar, like, that kind of thing did happen with the rise of the dictator. But then you have this, like, very childish treatments or way to translate and showcase what evil is.
Exactly.
I'm going to make his eyes red.
Yes.
It's like, It's kind of like, oh, the good guys have blue and green lightsabers, the bad guys have red lightsabers. You know, and it's this conflict in tone for me in these movies where it's kind of just like, you need to choose a side there, George.
Yes.
Like, are you making a kid's movie, or are you making this mature dissection of politics and bureaucracy and empires crumbling through hubris, etc., etc.?
Yeah.
And it's like where these films straddle this line for me, where I do enjoy both sides of that thing, but I feel like having them together in one film results in this tonal mismatch, which feels like confused direction.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Because you can do very binary good and evil stories. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But what the prequels are trying to present to us is this thing of, how does good become evil? How does a good person become corrupted in that way? Which is like a nuanced and complicated thing.
Yes.
But it's trying to present it in the simplest way possible.
Right.
Which means all the nuance is stripped away.
Yes.
Which is the nuance is what makes it interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there?
You know, I think it impacts a lot of things. Palpatine's reveal is so undramatic.
Well, when he becomes Darth Sidious.
When he basically tells Anakin that he's a Sith.
When
Anakin
like
realizes he's a Sith.
And also the frustrating thing with the entire series is that should have been a mystery to the audience. And that should have been the moment that we realized it as well.
Yes.
Like, you should have had this like experience that we all had watching Game of Thrones, like predicting all of these outcomes because we didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas in episode 1, you're like, oh, that guy's the same guy as the guy in the hood. And there was no mystery to it. I think there's no mystery to who the Phantom Menace is.
What makes it difficult, though, is Ian McDiarmid was the Emperor already in the original trilogy.
Right.
So
how
totally. How do you...
Like, for fans, sure. I'm like thinking more from the perspective of a child watching these for the first time.
This is true.
And it's just like, when he just says, like, he's like, what if I gave you powers to be evil? I mean, the powers to save the person you love.
Yeah, and it's Anakin's response to it that's just like, it's so flat, and so like it should be like completely like dismantling his world, that this mentor of his is a Sith, like the very thing that the Jedi like exist to fight, basically.
Right.
This is like the ultimate like evil in the universe.
Yeah, the response feels so neutered. And flat.
He just points his lightsaber at him. He's like,
Yeah.
Like he's like, it should be like it destroys his world.
And then also, I mean, like, that's where like characters revealed through reaction to events in the plots.
Yes.
And like how this person responds. It's in how characters respond that we understand who they are.
Yes.
And the way he responds there isn't kind of, it's kind of this like very neutered confusion mixed with disappointments and anger.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, showing the extent of this betrayal and his confusion is the thing that should completely unravel him.
Yeah.
And you look at Shakespearean plays, because George is writing a tragedy here. We have to talk about how Shakespeare does this. People fall apart in Shakespeare plays.
Yes.
And that should be happening here.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of just like, oh, and that's, I think it's because in the plots and how it's translated to us through the journey of these 3 movies, it's not a revelation.
Yes.
So it isn't translated into a revelation dramatically.
Yeah.
Which is like the tragedy of that moment. Because it should be part of the mystery of the series dramatically.
Yes.
Right? That's another thread that George should be pulling the audience along.
Yeah.
Right? But it's kind of just like, okay, cool. How's it? I'm a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
You know? And also the entire thing around, I think, Palpatine being a master manipulator is also very loose throughout the 3 movies. Like you have to, it doesn't really play out in the drama. You have to assume it.
Yes.
But it's my biggest problem with these movies. And again, the whole thing between it being this like very mature dissection of etc. versus a kid's movie is the way to tempt someone to the dark side in these movies is like, be evil.
Yes.
Be evil. Go to the dark side. Give into your anger. And it's like anyone that's a mature, I don't know, lucid person goes like, no, those are bad things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
But it happens across the whole trilogy. Every time he's being manipulative, it's so overt. It's like when he's talking to other characters and like trying to manipulate them into doing what he wants, it's so like obvious.
Yes.
Like painfully obvious.
It's not in subtext.
No.
That's where it should be. It should be in subtext.
Zero subtlety in his behavior.
No.
It's, I don't know, dude. And then it's compounded when Anakin goes and tells Mace Windu, by the way, this guy's a Sith. And
Yeah,
then
Mace Windu's also just like, cool.
Mace Windu's like, all right. And then the guys that are with him, he just takes the people who are already with him to go and deal with the Sith guy.
Yes.
And again, I mean, to an extent, some of that speaks to, again, the Jedi are incredibly arrogant. He's obviously going, I can just take care of this right now. It's not going to be a problem.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
But again, these things are like poorly communicated.
Yes. And also, like, we understand that, okay, cool. If the apprentice was as powerful as they were in episode 1, the master's obviously going to be like insanely OP.
Yeah.
And that happens in such a shit way.
Yes.
When he like does his little like raw tumble, like
Yes.
thing, which is lame.
Yeah.
And then like strikes down the first Jedi.
Yeah.
Strikes down the second Jedi within like 2 seconds.
Mm.
No, like where's the fight where he's taking on 4 Jedi at once,
Yes.
like effortlessly? That's
Exactly.
power.
Yeah.
It's not just killing them immediately. And George has this thing like where he immediately neutres the potential of the action scene.
Mm.
It also happens when Grievous whips out his 4 lightsabers.
Yes.
And you're like, fuck, how's Obi-Wan going to handle this?
Exactly.
Oh, apparently it wasn't that hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Because he just cuts off 2 of his hands in a second.
Exactly.
And then like Grievous runs away for the rest of the scene.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is why these fight scenes aren't as good as episode 1.
Yeah.
Right? It's because like you establish an obstacle in the scene
Mm.
and it's immediately like undercuts
Exactly.
and like resolved.
Yeah.
It's like super frustrating.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that the guy who did Samurai Jack?
Jendi Tartakovsky.
His like scene where Grievous murders a whole bunch of Jedi in
Yes.
the animated series.
Yeah.
We're just like, fuck. That is the scene we should have gotten.
Exactly.
You know, where it's absolutely breathtaking. It's just like, fuck, this guy is OP as shit.
Yeah.
He's going to take out a whole bunch of Jedi at once.
Mm.
But then we get that Obi-Wan's supposed to be a powerful Jedi, but it's still not hard for him
Yeah.
to overcome.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. The most frustrating thing about his turn to the dark side
Yeah.
is how his motivation changes.
Yeah.
Because Lucas's assumption, I think what he's trying to say is that when you are corrupted by the dark side,
Mm.
the dark side corrupts you absolutely. So then you become evil in all the ways that the dark side will take you over.
Yes.
Right? So he's doing it for fear of loss and he's going to lose Padme, but then he strangles her out of his rage.
Yes.
Which is kind of just like, no, fuck, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That is so stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense that the object of his desire, the entire reason why he's doing all of this, the entire reason why he attacked the Jedi Temple, out of a moment of, again, immature rage because he can't control his emotions because he's like a brat,
Exactly.
is he's just going to lose his temper and strangle his wife.
Yes.
It's kind of just like, this guy isn't very likable, dude, because he's not just a person that's like in control of his emotions and knows what he wants and is like unfortunately manipulated.
Mm.
He's just like a very immature person who's easy to manipulate,
Yeah.
which isn't likable.
Yes.
So he strangles his wife. And then when he's having the walking in a circle discussion with Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, oh no, it's to Padme that he says that, or Obi-Wan, where they like talks about suddenly my new empire.
Yes.
Like we can rule together. Oh, he's talking to Padme.
Yeah.
He's like, we can rule together. And it's just like, what
When
are
is
we
he-
doing?
When has he ever been interested in ruling?
No, he hasn't. Didn't he say that he's not interested in politics in the
Yeah.
second movie?
Yes.
So I get that George is trying to say to us that the dark side just completely corrupts your soul
Yeah.
and makes you become greedy and want things and given to desire and all the opposites of the like light side of the force, so to speak.
Yes.
But then that's not what we're dealing with dramatically.
Yeah.
And it just makes everything just feel so scattered. And like, that's why, like we're saying, it just feels dramatically inert
Mm.
because it's confused in itself,
Yeah.
right? It's just frustrating as hell.
Yeah. Again, it speaks to how it would have benefited from episode 3 essentially being episode 2 in a way.
Yes.
Like those broad beats as another movie. Because I think there's a lot of room here for a conflict between Darth Vader, like Anakin as Darth Vader, and Palpatine. Like the
Yes.
fact that he just gives him so completely and he's 100% dedicated and all that stuff. It reduces the Vader character in a lot of ways because now he's
Right.
not this like amazing, all-powerful, like incredibly driven, like soldier or whatever we're supposed to think he is in the first one. He's just like a manipulated little boy
Yes.
in a scary costume, you know?
Yeah, it's like we never really see the fruition of him being the most powerful Force user to have ever existed.
Yeah. But not just like I think it'll be so interesting instead of it being this thing where he's like so instantly and 100% committed to everything that Palpatine is doing. Like once he has allowed himself to fall in order to save Padme, which fails.
Yes.
Like what does that do between the two of them now that he is like committed to this thing? The reason he committed to it, like the tragedy of it is that it's essentially his commitment to saving her that kills her.
Right.
Like the tragedy of that never plays out.
No.
We never get to see like he just seems completely fine. He goes, no. And that's it. That's like his whole expression of like.
And I'm just a sad boy in a costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much room there for like this conflict between him and Palpatine and like that vying for power in a way, or like there's a level of betrayal there. And like, what does he do now that he's committed to him and he's betrayed the Jedi and he's helped destroy the Jedi? There's no sense of like regret. There's no sense of like
blame.
Yeah.
Frustration.
Exactly. It's like there's so much room there for like a young Darth Vader, this guy who was literally moments ago Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
It's like there's this line drawn there, and Anakin now no longer exists, and it's only Darth Vader.
I remember the only time I was convinced of that is the Obi-Wan series.
Oh, yes.
Where Obi-Wan like cuts off half of his mask and then you see his red eyes beneath the mask. Like the way it was treated there made me believe that for the first time I couldn't recognize Anakin.
Yes.
Because of all of his hate and rage.
Yeah.
And like we're saying, like all of this is just so implied and it's not in the subtext.
Yeah.
George is not dealing with any of this at all.
No.
He's just drawing, like you're saying, he's drawing like a very simplified, dramatically inert line between who Anakin is and Darth Vader is. And it's just lame.
Yeah.
It's just like, this isn't good tragedy.
Exactly.
It's not good writing. Like the fall of Vader being the entire point of this movie is just this thing that's just confused.
Yeah. We never get to see that tragedy expressed through Darth Vader.
No.
Through this guy who's like, he's like Anakin and Vader
and
at
again,
the same time.
Like, is this his story? Right?
Yeah.
It's like the tragedy of it is expressed through Obi-Wan mostly. Like, because he's witness to everything, right?
Yeah.
He's witness to Anakin's fall. He's witness to Padme's death, the birth of the twins.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, cool. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi's story.
Yes.
And it should be from episode 1 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a tragedy, it has to be Anakin's story.
Yeah.
And it's not Anakin's story.
Yeah.
We don't see any of this play out to its end, like logical end conclusion.
Exactly.
It's the structuring and pacing of it that's all messed. It's like the order of those events. So that we can see, okay, cool, he's been Vader for a while, or he's like becoming Vader, and then, like you say, like how the hell does he like not point the finger at Palpatine and be like, you lied to me?
Exactly.
You told me that you would save her.
Yeah.
But then Palpatine's like, no, in your rage, you killed her. Which is like the dumbest thing ever.
Yes.
I still hate that.
Especially since it's all preceded by him buying into lies. Like why would he believe him?
And it's also very easy manipulation to see through.
Yes.
Because it's just written away. It's like, I am manipulating you now.
Yeah. It's so, it's annoying.
I mean, the most frustrating thing about the entire thing is Padme dying of a broken heart.
Yeah, she dies of being the saddest woman in the galaxy.
Like, why can't we just say that she's dying because her esophagus was crushed?
Yes.
Why do we have to say, for medical reasons we can't understand, she's dying?
It takes...
no, didn't they say she lost the will to live?
Yeah. I think they actually say that. She seems to have lost the will to live or whatever.
Oh, she's not going to live for her children?
Yeah. Because Anakin was mean to her. And it's like, again, like, it just reduces her character in a lot of ways. It takes the blame away from Anakin. It means like he's not actually responsible for that.
No.
Which he should be. Like he
Because
should have been the one to
point
kill
of
her.
Tragedy.
Yes, that's the tragedy of it.
Yes.
Is that his actions to try and save her is what killed her. Like that's the tragedy. But it's not there. Like that's not what even happens.
Like, even though I don't like the fact that he strangles Padme, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
The fact that you did it and then she is going to die because of it is something that should be the through line. Yeah, but she dies of a broken heart instead. Which is lame. It's
wild.
like it's a very forced movement from establishing of a story to where you need it to be.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, cool, I need the mother to be dead.
Yeah.
I need these two twins to be separated.
Yes.
How am I going to get it there? And it's just like a very like sudden, forced, and clumsy solution.
Exactly.
Right? It isn't like very well thought out or played through.
Yeah.
Also, how does Palpatine know what happened to her?
Great question.
I mean, like, is he just like being lucky and just trying to manipulate him by lying?
Yeah.
That's probably what's happening.
Yeah, something like that. I guess
he's like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. I can tell him anything and he'll believe me.
Yes.
Because that's what he's been doing the entire movie.
Yeah. Because it's not true. He didn't kill her. We know that he didn't kill her. So, so it is a lie.
Yeah.
But he just buys it because of what?
Yeah.
Because of reasons. Because he has to at that point. Because he
Yes.
has to, you know, have his little no moment. And then we were on the ship with the little sunken bits and he folds his arms next to him. And that aesthetic just comes out of nowhere.
Which aesthetic?
Of like the old school looking ships, the way they have that like central piece and like the people are sitting like in the lower thing, the way the whole interior ships look.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what the ships look like prior to this.
No, there wasn't like a design
Yeah.
movement from like the aesthetics of the first movie to the aesthetics of A New Hope.
Exactly.
You're right. It just like kind of just shows up and you're like, oh, we have ugly ships now.
Yeah, which feels strange.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like a minor problem, I guess, in the grand scheme of
100%.
things. We have to talk about that damn office.
Palpatine's office.
How many like pivotal scenes happen in Palpatine's office?
And it's like
in an office building, like Palpatine's reveal as a Sith, Anakin betraying the Jedi, and Anakin being like quote unquote knighted as Darth Vader, all happens in Palpatine's office.
Purple maroon office.
It's wild.
It's also a flat as fuck office.
Yes.
In terms of its art direction. I know that they're going for that like kind of clean, smooth, like, I don't know, aesthetic.
Yes.
But then it's just a complete waste of potential.
Yes.
You have an entire fucking lava planet.
I was going to say, you have like this hell planet, which is like meant to, like, it's literally like hell. It's his like descent into like pure evil.
Yes.
It literally goes to hell.
Yes.
You have that, but instead you do it in an office.
Imagine Anakin being knighted behind a like plume of lava.
Yeah. And I know you can say like that's like kind of superficial, but movies are visual. Movies are a visual format.
Absolutely. It's just
come
dumb
on.
having it happen in an office.
Especially in this franchise that is like so typically like a triumph of imagination.
Yes.
To like reduce it to this.
And that's why the
So
most
strange.
pivotal moments in the series, and it's I can imagine that it's hard to make something dramatic when you know it's coming.
Yes.
So we know that Palpatine's being revealed to be Darth Sidious. We know that Anakin's going to betray the Jedi and turn to the dark side. But then still, it has to be a pivotal dramatic moment.
Yeah.
And that moment never felt convincing to me. Ever. Where he's just like, okay, I'm going to be evil now. I'm Darth Vader.
Yes.
He like has this immediate regret around what he's done betraying Mace Windu because he's
Yes.
conflicted, confused. And then immediately he just bows down on one knee. And for him, it's just like, that was easy.
It's like, it doesn't make sense why he embraces the lie so completely.
Yes.
Because he says to him, Palpatine says to him something about like the Jedi attempted to assassinate me or whatever. And he's just like, yeah, that happened. He just like agrees with the lie. But he knows it's a lie.
Yeah, he knows it's a lie.
He was there.
Yeah.
But he just, and I know like there's this whole thing of he's doing all of this because he's like desperate to save Padme. But it has to make sense.
Yeah, which is also a problem.
Like the fact you can't have this thing of like, well, he's kind of lost his mind out of like desperation. Because it like reduces the character.
That's lazy.
Like all of these things of him giving into the lie so easily. He's supposed to be like the most powerful guy in the whole freaking galaxy. Why is he so easily manipulated?
And that makes him not likable.
Yes.
Right? We don't sympathize with him.
Yes.
Because he's kind of a fool.
Exactly.
The entire time. I mean, like the manipulation, like we're talking about how it's obvious. And the tactic of Palpatine telling him, oh, I can save your loved ones from death.
Yes.
Which never materializes into something dramatically tangible. It's kind of this like very airy-fairy loose thing that he's like tempting him with.
Exactly.
Which like I feel like should have been more urgent. Like surely if Padme's death was the linchpin moments around Anakin's turn to the dark side, because that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's still this premonition that he has.
Yes.
And I get that his premonitions come true because his mother died. And this is this fear of loss that's going to make him turn to the dark side. Which is like an insane line, by the way. I think that's what they said. They said the fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
Yeah.
The Jedi suck, dude.
Yes.
They're fucking awful. But I feel like having those two moments together on the lava planet, Padme about to die.
Yes.
I know that he can't know that the children are born, so it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But it's like, surely they should have been trying to save her.
Yeah.
Like, surely it should have been happening. Like, that's how desperate Palpatine is to get him to the dark side. But instead, he's just like, okay, cool, now you're a Sith Lord.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
It just feels like completely dramatically neutered.
Yeah, it's dramatically inert.
Yes. It's also really dumb that only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Yes.
Because surely the Jedi deal in absolutes as well. They're
All the
pretty
time.
strict about like what you can do and can't do.
Yeah.
Like fear is a path to the dark side. That's pretty fucking absolute, guys.
Yes.
Jedi suck.
Yes, they do suck. That's like it feels like that should have been the point of the trilogy, but that message gets completely lost. Okay, I think let's start wrapping it up here. You have any closing thoughts, final thoughts on these movies?
I think these movies are good because the action is good and the music is good.
Yeah, the music does a lot of heavy lifting.
It does.
Yeah.
And I feel like aesthetically they're beautiful movies.
Yeah.
The action scenes are fantastic and the music is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like often try to think about why people love these movies so much, because these flaws just detract so much from what makes these movies enjoyable for me.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like frustrating to like kind of watch them and forget about them, which I like kind of did because I was high, and that's why they were kind of fun to watch. But then the problems just like still stick out like a sore thumb, and like you can't connect with the material.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally, overall, from start to finish, these movies are just a bit emotionally flat.
Yes.
And like George is not about that. This is a space opera.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be massive. It's like, think about the feeling you get when like Han says, I know, in episode 5, directed by Irvin Kershner.
Yes.
Right? That is like, it's classic cinema. It feels like you're watching Clark Gable
Yes.
in Gone with the Wind. Like
Yeah.
you're watching something that's so like emotionally exaggerated and something we don't do a lot these days actually in cinema. But that's what Star Wars is. It's about these big gestures of cinematic romance
Yes.
and emotion.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are moments outside of the drama that George kind of nails. Like outside of what I mean, the core like narrative through line.
Yeah.
It's like we spoke about those earlier, the like moment where he's on the speeder on Tatooine, and you know, there's the moments on Mustafar which are beautiful.
Yeah.
But then I feel like just the rest of it, just because of these flaws, just feels like there's a lack of understanding of what story he's telling.
Yeah.
Like people will often make their complaints about the sequel trilogy, but it's 100% present here as well. They're like, those are my thoughts. I mean, like, I loved these films when I was younger. They were the most important movies to me.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess with time I've just watched them too many times, and I've like just become irritated by these flaws.
You outgrew them.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I also loved them as a kid. I then went through that phase where I really hated them. I've kind of simmered on them a bit. I don't hate them. I can see what's good about them, but it's so overshadowed by all the things that kind of like reduce them. You know, all the things that take away from the conflict and take away from the tragedy and how good those things. I think the thing that's so frustrating about it is you look at like the bones of it and it could have been really great. You know, there's like the potential there for a really wonderful story.
Yes.
But it's all just dragged down by its writing. You know?
Exactly.
It just kind of undoes it all.
I like kind of see these movies as a romance from my past.
Yes.
Where it's like, I'm sad that it's over, but I'm happy that it happened.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of just like these films meant the world to me, and I had this beautiful period of being obsessed with them.
Yes.
And being inspired by them. And like that caused me to engage with my music. It caused me to engage with arts.
Yes.
You know, because I was so obsessed with these movies. And like for that reason, I'm glad they like served a purpose in my life. And I think the time has just come and gone for them to be in my life. I think honestly, like I'm not going to watch these movies again for like another 30 years.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before I come back to these.
It has to be a while. I need to give these a break.
Yes, I agree.
I need to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like close that chapter of the prequel trilogy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to end on one thing.
Cool.
I like George Lucas, to be clear. Despite all of
100%.
this, I like George Lucas.
Yeah, this isn't like a criticism of him.
He seems like a nice dude. And George clearly has no, like I mentioned this at the beginning, he clearly has no interest in whatever is in like the cultural zeitgeist. He has no interest in, his sensibilities are completely devoid of the modern.
Okay.
And I think that works in its favor because in some ways it makes it distinct.
Yes.
And in other ways it makes it timeless.
Yes.
You know, there's a timelessness to even these films, as much as they are like outdated effects and that sort of thing in them. There's like this timeless quality to them.
Yes.
You know, I think he's kind of derided in some ways. Like you look at where he came up at the same time as like Spielberg and Scorsese and De Palma and Coppola.
Yes. The brats.
Yeah. And he's thought of or often spoken about as being like kind of lesser than them. And I don't think that's really deserved.
No.
Right? I think his kind of contributions come in a completely different place.
Yes.
You know, like Scorsese has contributed to film with brilliant films.
Like the language of cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Whereas what George has done for modern filmmaking is more than literally anyone else in the industry. I know David Fincher is often credited as being like the first guy to like embrace digital filmmaking,
Right.
digital cameras and digital editing, all that sort of thing. But those things that he uses would not exist without George Lucas.
No.
George Lucas is the guy who said digital cameras need to be a thing, digital editing needs to be a thing, digital color grading, digital sound, visual effects, where they are now.
Yes.
All of those things exist because George Lucas was the driving force behind them all.
And that happened in the making of this trilogy.
Yeah, a huge amount of it did.
Right.
You know?
When you watch Industrial Light and Magic and you cast your eye back on the series of events that started with A New Hope
Yes.
and how that journey was accelerated through the creation of the prequel trilogy,
Yeah.
you kind of realize that George Lucas might be the most culturally influential filmmaker to have ever lived.
Yeah, he's up there, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the amount of technology that has been created in these movies because of the imagination he had and the images that he was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Like he's a technical pioneer.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes these movies great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like, even you look at, like you're saying, ILM, a lot of people will kind of credit Cameron and then Spielberg with like the rise of CGI, because James Cameron did like Terminator 2. Yeah, but before that, Spielberg followed that up with Jurassic Park. But the tools that they were using existed because George Lucas was the one who pushed for their creation in the first place.
Yes.
ILM exists as it is. ILM exists full stop because of George Lucas. He created that company.
Right.
Pixar exists because of George Lucas.
Photoshop
exists, yeah, because John Knoll created Photoshop while he was working at ILM. It's like all of these things. Apparently, again, this comes up in Light and Magic, which is on Disney+. George would have an idea, present it to someone, and they would kind of go, that's not really possible. And then he would go, just think about it.
Right.
Just think about it. And then they would go off and invent these things, because he was like, the film needs these things to keep moving forward.
Right.
You know, like filmmaking needs these things.
I mean, this is like why you have an editing app on your phone.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Exactly, because
because you can film something, edit it, change the duration of the clip.
Yeah.
Color grade it, all of this stuff on your phone these days.
Yeah.
And that's directly tied back to George Lucas.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Thanks, George.
Thank you so much.
We're going to criticize you, but you've also done a lot.
Now, there's absolutely a separation, I think, between the artist and the pioneer. And I think he's far better at one than the other.
Yes.
But I'm also not mad that he obviously he made these movies, and like I said, they played a massive role in my life. So I fundamentally love the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just frustrated at how being an adult made me not like these movies.
Yes.
Which is lame.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have enjoyed them for the rest of my life, and
Exactly.
to have that feeling, because nothing tops it as a kid.
Yeah.
No movies were better than this. I mean, like Lord of the Rings, maybe.
Yes.
You know,
as a filmmaker, he's at his best with strong collaborators.
Yes.
You know, if you look at the original trilogy, it's when other people came on to help write them and help direct them. You know, that elevated them so much.
Yes.
I would love him to make something else. I'd make something new, because he hasn't made
100%.
anything else. I know there was
100%.
a lot of criticism, and I know it really affected him a lot, the same way we talked about the way the negative reception affected people like
Ahmed Best and Jake Lloyd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It did him as well, you know.
Oh.
It has to.
Yes.
But come on, George. You don't have a lot of time left. You're an old man.
Exactly.
Make us a couple movies.
Make cool things again.
Exactly.
Because he's got the skill for it.
Yeah.
And just get good collaborators.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, we love Star Wars,
Hell yes.
but we love to complain about Star Wars as well.
Oh, yeah. There's more complaining to come. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We have several more of these to do.
Exactly.
And they'll be filled with complaints and compliments.
Yes.
Maybe not in equal measure,
No.
but there's a lot more to say.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's part 1.
Part 1 of our Star Wars.
Our trilogy of trilogies.
Oh, a holiday special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special Part 1. Star Wars Holiday Special Episode 1, the prequel trilogy. There
Awesome.
you go.
Good chat.
Lovely. Thank you guys if you've made it all this way through. You've actually listened to this much of our ramblings. We love you for it.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yes, you can
And
find
also
us. Sorry.
sound off in the comments. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Fight with us. Tell us how we're
Exactly.
wrong.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I'm going to say. Comments do a lot of good. Like, you can go to thevideostore.co.za. That's where you'll find all of our other episodes. There's several hundred of them now. We've been doing this for a
Damn.
long time.
Look at us go.
We're close to episode 200,
Woo.
which is wild.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, so give it a like or a comment or a subscribe or a star, 5 stars, whatever's applicable on your platform of choice.
Yeah.
And tell your friends about it. That's honestly the best way to spread word and like increase our subscribers and all that stuff, which we need. I know it's irritating being asked for these things in every single thing you listen to or watch, but it's valuable, so thank you.
And also, if you want to, send us a voice notes about your return
Yes.
of any of these films that we've discussed today.
Exactly. There'll be an email address, I believe, in the description.
Yeah.
That you can send things to.
Send us an audio clip. Tell us
Exactly.
what you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, send us your thoughts. We'll include them in an episode.
That would be cool.
Mm.
Lovely.
Cool.
Thanks, dude.
Farewell, Graeme.
See you next time on Star Wars Show.
For the original trilogy.
Original trilogy.
Woo!
Cool.
Excited for that one.
Yes.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye.